tuning in to the online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
You can just sing it.
Fire!
Hey! Oh, there it is!
There it is.
We have to bring it in.
Hey, we brought it in though. It was good. What's up, everybody?
Fire.
This is my choir right here. My name is Lem Gonsalvez. I am your host. Next to me in the soprano section is my girl Marielou Mandl. Say what's up to him.
Hey guys.
And hold it down for the tenors. I got my boy Jeff Thurm.
What's going on?
Yeah, that's how we do.
We're here.
Let's sing it again.
Fire!
Oh, it sounds so good. Man, I'm so excited and I'm hungry. And every time I watch Hell's Kitchen, I get hungrier because the food be looking good sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But I think I'm especially hungry because I'm trying to get my sexy right. And so I've been like eating like small meals. And so like I ate like 3 hours ago and now I'm starving.
Time to eat again.
It's time to eat again. And then you watch the show and then it's just like, that sucks even more. If I had a protein shake or like a granola bar.
But not the protein shake they had.
No,
Yeah.
that was nasty. And we're going to get into that. But this is the Top 14 Compete is the name of this episode. Episode 5, season 13. Can't believe it's been 13 seasons. Been watching it the whole time. And, you know, we start off with my boy, Sleep, with a picture, I guess, of his wife.
Like a headshot?
Yeah, like that was weird. But it's like, for Sterling, it's like normal. Like I wouldn't expect anyone else to do that, but Sterling, yes, I thought it was amazing. Like he continues to impress me every single episode. And I'm like, I'm going to cry probably when he gets voted off because, let's keep it real, he's not going to win. Like, and it's not going to happen. It would be nice, but I don't think Chef Ramsay is going to have someone like that running the kitchen.
Exactly.
Unless it was like a Waffle House or something like that, or a
little
Denny's.
too goofy
to
be head chef.
Exactly, of a fine dining
If
restaurant.
it was a Sterling branded kitchen, maybe. But
Yeah.
Caesar's Palace.
Yeah, nothing like that.
Yeah.
Nothing like that. So, but he's on the show, and I'm happy that he's on the show right now. So, of course, in true fashion, in Hell's Kitchen, they wake him up crazy all the time. So this time, they hear a chainsaw. And so they're like, what's going on? They tell him, wake up, go downstairs. They go downstairs, and there's this guy kind of etching out the HK, which stands for Hell's Kitchen, in this ice sculpture. And then they see these proteins out there. And so Chef Ramsay tell them, of course, what their challenge is. And their challenge is to decide what protein is in each dish. So they have 5 dishes, and they have to pick out the protein. Now, I'm, again, I always come from my little novice point of view. I'm not a chef. I do like to eat. But it seemed like some of those proteins should have been easier to identify. Like, what do you think?
Well, going back to the ice sculpture,
Yeah.
then waking up with the ice sculpture that had nothing to do with the challenge.
Right.
It just was there. So it was like comedic.
Right.
But yeah, some of those I feel like, especially the first one was turkey.
Right.
Think a little bit. I feel like if you maybe analyzed it, maybe they were going too fast.
I think that's part of it, the clock, and it's kind of getting you on you because it's a timed event, obviously, yeah.
And they did just wake up.
Right. Kind
But,
of.
I mean, you see a cutlet Parmesan, you automatically think of veal Parmesan, you automatically think of chicken Parmesan.
Right.
And someone even says, like, this is Hell's Kitchen, why would it be that easy?
Right.
Like, they shouldn't have gone to veal and chicken first. I don't know, I can't say that I would have chose turkey, but a veal or chicken Parmesan, it's way too easy.
No, and I agree. And I think you said it good, Marielou, is that it's the time. And I think just with any things that they do, even just cooking during dinner service, it's because Chef Ramsay's yelling at them, so it makes it more of a constricted, working environment where you probably wouldn't normally have at a normal kitchen. Yeah, it's going to be hectic, like you're explaining, your field of expertise, but I don't think that it would be as bad as Hell's Kitchen. You end up making mistakes that you would not normally make because he's, shouting F-bombs at you every 2 seconds, wanting the food right now. You know it's not ready, and that's when people bring it up and it's not ready, and they're like, "Oh, I don't know what to do," and then they just crumble.
The stars who can handle that, those are the ones that will rise to the top.
Of course.
If you can handle that pressure and still perform,
exactly,
that's what he's looking for.
Exactly. Exactly, and that's who ends up winning and getting to the end of the show. So in that challenge, there were 5 dishes. One was turkey parmesan. We had calamari chowder, which I've never heard of. Sounds good. Everything sounds good right now, actually. We had elk lasagna, alligator chili, and duck pot stickers. So in the first part, it was the red team decided to go first. So it was Ro and Katie that went, and it took them like they got it wrong 3 times, which I thought was kind of, like you said, they went for the easiest route. And of course, again, it's Hell's Kitchen. Nothing is ever easy.
And poor Ro even drops the plate.
Right.
And she's running back. She drops the whole thing.
It's, I mean, like I said, it's the whole time thing. The next one was calamari chowder, and that was Tasha and Jennifer. After that, it was Sade by herself. And did she get it on the second try? Okay, so she did really good. Then the alligator chili, that was Kaylin and good old Kaylin. Kaylin and Ashley on the alligator chili. And it took them a while to get that, too.
And it took Sade to suggest it was the alligator till they got it right.
Right, exactly.
She was the one screaming alligator.
Right, which actually happened on the blue team, which we'll get into in a minute. And then, of course, we had the duck pot stickers. And I think it was like 7 times it was wrong. If I counted, I think I counted them, and I think it was like 7 times that they missed duck. Now, again, not a chef, but I'm thinking if you are a chef and this is your level of expertise, you can't figure out duck. It takes you 8 times to pick duck.
Yeah, duck I don't feel like is as uncommon as a lot of the other ones were.
Right.
Like I've seen duck on menus. Elk,
that's what I'm saying.
I haven't seen, but I was very impressed that Sade she got it wrong the first time, so she's like, it's gamey, let me try this thing.
Right.
She thought about it for a second and then got it right.
Exactly. And that's what you have to do. But they were obviously not doing that. And the thing, you're working with someone else too. So I think that's part of the pressure, because it's like you got to both agree. So it's like you think it's one thing, they think it's another, and then you're stuck in the middle like, well, no, let's do this and let's do this. And then, so it you know, and of course they do that on purpose because it creates for the drama or what have you.
And that's what kept happening with Jennifer and Tasha. Jennifer kept picking things, and Jennifer was like, no, it's not that. But Tasha, she ran with it anyway. She didn't really stick up for herself until after it was wrong. She was like, oh, I told you it wasn't that.
Right.
It's like,
easy. Hindsight's 2020. Right. So their time was 7:41 to pick 5 dishes, which when the guys came out, they were like, oh my God, we get this, you know, we're going to kill this. But it wasn't that easy for them either. So of course they had the same dishes, and it was Fernando and Santos that went first, then Sterling and Steve, then Frank and Bryant. Aaron was by himself, and then Fernando and Santos went again. So I think overall, I mean, they had some of the same challenges. There was one dish that they got stuck on. I think it was the alligator. It was the alligator chili, and that's the one that my boy Sterling kept saying, because, you know, he's like, I'm from the South, this alligator, and it was like, it was picking all these different things, and they finally picked it. And then at the end, it was the duck that got them as well.
Final one.
The duck was killing them, and they were picking crazy stuff. Like, I feel like they picked trout, or I mean, they were picking all kind of stuff that I figure if it's duck, it's got to be some kind of bird. You know what I'm saying? So go through all the birds, but they were like on fish.
They picked rabbit twice.
Yeah, exactly.
Rabbit and then brought it back. Like, what the?
It's not rabbit.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't rabbit.
But they still finished.
They did.
In less time than the females, but I think in this challenge they were at an advantage because they had a set time limit to reach, where the girls kind of had all the time that they needed.
Right.
So if you're stuck on the last one and you can't get it, you're going to keep doing it until
until you get it right.
Until you get it.
I think their lucky charm this time was Frank not having enough time to spend to look in the mirror, because he got it right the first time.
He did.
When he spends less time on his looks, he nails it in the kitchen.
Right.
Maybe he has skills when he focuses.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is.
Because his hair was all over the place.
Oh, it was crazy.
I loved it.
He was not Guido this particular episode. But yeah, he did get it right. That was the elk, I think. The elk lasagna he got right. So they actually won with 34 seconds to rest. So it's not like they killed the women, but like I think you said it right, that they did have an advantage. And the women, I don't know why. I think in any challenge, if you have an option, always go second. Like, that's like the rule of thumb. I don't care if it's a race. I don't care if it's tag. I don't care if it's an eating. I don't care what it is. Go second, because either you get to see how the person goes, or, like, again, you have a time constraint that you have to work on. But I think they got a little cocky. You know, they've been doing pretty well, and so they're like, well, we're number one, so we're going to be first.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wah, wah, wah.
That's not good.
That's
dating
what happened
strategy.
to you. So the guys won. There's always a reward. They get to go to Santa Monica. Yay!
Lovely Santa Monica.
Right, with the convertible.
Yes, Gordon Ramsay is loving the challenge, and then he's like, we're going to take you to the beach in convertibles. And I was like, oh, all right, this is going to be like some Corvettes, like something really exciting. And they were Jeeps.
They were Jeep convertibles.
They were, but I don't, that's not what I was
It's
expecting.
not. No, I don't think anybody would expect that. Like, let's keep it real. Of course, they're happy because they just get to get out. I don't care if they were in a freaking, I don't know, dump truck. Yeah. But, they get to get out of Hell's Kitchen. But, yeah, it was kind of a play on like, convertible, or whatever. But they do get to go to Santa Monica. Ended up meeting a guy by the name of Janae Kerr, which played water polo. He actually was in Olympics. And there was 2 other people, I didn't get their names, that were also Olympians that were there. And they played water polo, which was interesting.
Which isn't a very relaxing reward. You know,
Right.
you just spend all this time running around in Hell's Kitchen.
Right.
I'm thinking they're going to go to like a nice fancy cuisine and relax on the beach and have a great time and really like build up for the night.
Right.
And they're kicking each other in the water. They're like being forced to exercise. Like these guys aren't in shape. Like
No.
they're
Not
it
any-
was an
not even
exhausting
close.
reward.
Because all of the challenges that the girls won, they got to go out of town and have a fancy dinner. And they're like, boys, you get to work out.
Right. I don't know. I mean, I think the challenges are obviously, predetermined. So whoever wins, that's the challenge you get. But I don't think it was tailored for the guys. But at the end of the day, I think water polo is like one of the hardest sports to do. So whether it was the guys or the girls, either of them were going to have issues doing that. And I, for one, would have just been like, I'm going to chill. You guys play. I'm going to lay down here and sip on something while you guys get tired out because I'm trying to relax.
But I loved Aaron because he was a sport about it. He knows he's not in good shape. You know, he even said, like, I look like a cat trying to get out of a bathtub. Like, he was a good sport about just, him flopping around.
He was.
Theory, maybe that challenge was to show them a little bit about being camera ready.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Yeah, this season, let's talk about that. In the department, I don't know. I mean, they cast this, and I was telling you, Marielou, and you, Jeff, that, sometimes they're on both sides. There's some eye candy, to look at or whatever. And for me, actually, I will say, my girl that got Deneen, I think she was cute, but she got booted so early, but that was it. There's like nobody else. And it's not that they're not like super attractive, but it's like they're just kind of dilapidated. Is that the word? Tired. Just, I don't know. Like, it's just, they've been working hard. Maybe they're just hard kitchen workers. Maybe they built kitchens. Like, I'm just like, because I'm like, where these people come from? Like, you're going to be on TV and I don't know.
Because is this reward kind of like when you have a pet that's getting a little chubby and you make them exercise?
Right.
And you're like, we're playing a game.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're like, we need to whip them into shape, get some Olympians here.
Right. I don't know. But like I said, Hell's Kitchen is not known for having like these amazing looking people, but there's always like 2 or 3, on each end. And this season, I don't know. Like I said, Deneen, she was it for me.
Katie's a cute girl. I mean, she's getting worn down.
I don't know. Not my speed. But that's cool, Jeff.
I'm sure they're all beautiful on the inside. Well, no, some of them aren't.
I was gonna say no. I don't know.
Well, you always say about it. I'm sure they mean well.
Right. But, it is what it is. It's always the same format. It's always going to be the drama, and that's really what they're looking at. And they're looking for a diverse group of people. I do know, just from knowing some of the inside information, and we talked about this, a lot of them are from the East Coast. So that probably has a lot to do with, I'm not saying like...
Oh, so East Coasters are ugly.
No, I did not say that. No, I did not. You didn't let me finish.
As an East Coaster, I'm personally very offended.
I'm not saying that whatsoever. Right. Not at all. All I'm saying is it's just a different, the people from the East, there's a different vibe from people that are from the East Coast. There's a different flavor that they have. And when someone's from the East Coast, just like someone from the West Coast or from the South.
Backpedal.
You know what? Oh, look, let's move on.
Right. I do like the characters. I think they really cast some great characters.
Exactly.
Interesting people to watch interact with each other.
That's always how it is. And we'll stay with that. So going on to the girls, the beautiful women that are on Hell's Kitchen. Of course, when there's a reward, there's always a punishment. And their punishment was they had to grade like tons and tons of cheese. But even more so than that, their delicacy that they had to have was these nasty protein shakes. And it was like serious protein, like proteins that they had to work with earlier. So it was like, I didn't get them all down.
Got it. Scallops, hard-boiled eggs, anchovies, boiled chicken.
That's nasty. That's like really nasty. In a shake.
In a shake.
Yeah, all mixed together.
I cannot confirm nor deny if this ever actually happened, but a bunch of my friends and I joined fraternities in college and had some bad stuff to drink. And
really?
Let me tell you, I wish I had a protein shake that good.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Like it was worse than that?
It was worse than that.
Shut up.
Yeah, I wish that was my treat.
Wow.
That would be a delicacy.
Describe something. Can you? Anything? Don't get your fraternity in trouble, but...
Some of it was all by choice. All by choice. I was not forced to do anything that I didn't want to do. I could opt out at any time. Hard-boiled eggs were involved.
Really?
Yeah.
In a shake?
Hard-boiled eggs were involved.
Oh, okay. We'll just leave it at that.
All right. How mysterious.
All I got to say is...
cat food might have been involved, too.
Oh, man. Okay, so...
And toothpaste.
Yeah, so Jeff... went to a nasty fraternity. So that's bad. But
I can't confirm or deny if it's actually true or not.
Right, if it's actually true. Right. We don't know yet.
Just what I heard.
Just what you heard.
Yeah.
Got it. But we did see for sure that they had some nasty stuff. Jennifer, who is becoming kind of a villain, and I think it just all started when, she got, I can't say that that's her... it wasn't her choice. She got, fell ill. She had, the ambulance had to take her. But I think for the women, it was a sign of weakness. And I think once they saw that, then now they see her as like somebody that isn't up to par. And then it's not like she's cooking really well. She's just kind of okay, kind of getting by. But now what's happening is she's kind of turning on people. And so here was an example when they were doing the protein shakes. She starts like, heaving, throwing up. And they're like, no, we're all doing this. And she was kind of like trying to stop, like, no, I'm not going to do anymore. And then Sade was like, no, we're all doing this. We're all doing this together. It's our punishment together. You have to be involved. You can't just bow out because it's not, appeasing to you or whatever, or it's inconvenient. And so they ended up kind of getting into it after the fact, even into the dorms and had exchanged words. So, and Sade seems to be somebody that, she's doing a good job in the kitchen. I can't see her like beefing for anybody. I don't see her as a villain, on the show or anything like that. But I think it's a situation with Jennifer that she is just she's getting on people's bad side. What do you think?
Well, this situation with them specifically really made me love Sade.
Me too.
She won me over with this because Jennifer had a bad attitude. And I can't say I would be able to drink that without it coming back up, but she just made it very negative instead of pushing through. And then was throwing words and saying she was going to punch somebody. And Sade went up to her and said, hey, we don't need to do this. We don't have to fight. Like, we can talk about this, we can deal with it, and we can move on. Let's not be children about it, essentially. And I was like, that is the sign of somebody who could be a leader.
Jennifer threatened to punch Sade. Like, that could have gone a million different ways. And Sade, stood up and handled it really, really well. It was real. It was from the heart. And I loved how she handled it.
Yeah. 100%. I do think Jennifer's all talk, though. I don't think she would really punch her.
I think she would. I think she's from...
You think, really?
Oh, yeah. I think
it's because of the East Coast. Like,
I think Jennifer's got some demons.
Yeah.
And some of the screenshots for like next episode that they showed, something's gonna come out. I think she's got something.
It's possible. I think a lot of people, when they get into these situations, you kind of see they do things that may not normally do because they're in this high pressure situation, and they're having to deal with this, and there's a lot going on. I think a lot of people miss their family. They're being berated, you know, and like I said, if they're not doing well in the kitchen, then of course it's even worse because they're getting it from Chef Randy and they're getting it from their fellow competitors. So a lot of people end up getting to a point where they reach a breaking point and then they just kind of lash out, you know, and they blow up. And I've seen it time and time again. And it's like a lot of times it's the people. There was actually on last season, I believe it was last season, there was one girl on the show who was slated to win. Like, she was really good. She was doing well, killing all the services, never was voted in, and she just went ballistic. She was, I think it was in the top 6. She just went ballistic and walked out of the kitchen, and Chef Ramsay dismissed her. Did not let her come back. So, but she had reached her boiling point. It took all that time, you know what I'm saying? But she reached it, and once she reached it, she was done. She like let everything else go. So I think it handles for a lot of people. So you definitely have to have thick skin in this. You definitely have to be level-headed, and then it kind of just, you know, separates the weak from the strong, you know, in this type of environment. So I agree with you too. I'm definitely Team Sade. She's my new hero this week. She definitely stepped up because I think she was kind of, you know, I mean, she was saying certain things, but there was never really anything that I thought was spectacular about her. But this particular time, she definitely put it down. So I was like, yes, handle that. Yeah. Handle that. And so getting into service, it starts service, of course. And, you know, the men come back from their trip. And my boy Sterling again, he's like, I want to, Mr. 100. Keep it 100. He says, I want to make an impact. Now, I said this earlier. You guys kind of looked at me side-eye. Do you think, as much as I love this dude, do you think that he can actually win the whole thing?
No.
I don't think
Not
so.
at all. Okay.
I would go to his restaurant.
You would go to his restaurant.
But I don't think he can lead a high-end one.
Okay.
I would go to his wing house or whatever it is he's running, like his Tennessee barbecue.
I think it would just be an experience to go just to see him. Like, forget the food. I just want to see him in action.
Yeah.
Right.
I want to go to Sterling's restaurant where he is the host and he welcomes you to dinner and he's telling you about your food. I don't need him behind the kitchen. I don't need him cooking my food.
Right.
He's sweating everywhere, dripping everywhere. Like, keep him out of the kitchen, entertain us, but don't cook my food.
Don't cook it.
Of everyone we have on this cast, I think he would be the prime one to have a spin-off show of his own.
I thought the same thing.
I agree. He's definitely a character. He's definitely fun-loving. I think, and then too, I think he doesn't really take any mess. You know what I'm saying? He's not a pushover. He's definitely got into it with people already. And then as we saw in the previews for next show, he kind of gets into it again. So, I mean, he's definitely holding it down. But I'm curious to see how far he goes. I think that's what it is. I want to see how far he can go, you know, with his, you know, abilities in the kitchen.
Well, he hasn't done anything particularly bad to warrant getting booted yet.
Right.
But nothing impressive to say that's our guy.
Exactly.
He's great at keeping people positive. His issue is that he doesn't know when to stop. So other people are asking him, like Santos at one point was like, stop singing in the kitchen. Like, he doesn't want to stop. So he's getting under people's skin. And eventually that's going to lead to the team blowing up because he's trying to be all positive, but it's too much in your face. And eventually people are just going to not put up with it.
Right.
I think that's where his downfall is going to be.
Absolutely. So talking about the service, it was family night. And so there's a lot of children in there in the dining hall, or dining room. And we had some side going pizza appetizers. So there was 2 people from the red team and then 2 people from the blue team cooking these pizzas and kind of giving the kids. And starting over in the red kitchen, Kaylin starts acting up. So she makes a dry capellini. So the other apps are going up. They look well. Hers is dry. Of course, it gets kicked back. On the blue kitchen, Santos, he's the one that's helping with the pizzas. And he's like taking his time. He's got a little kid like trying to pour. I mean, that was cute.
How can you not do that?
I mean, but dude, it's Hell's Kitchen. You need to get the food out. And he's like, it's like Chuck E. Cheese. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't do that.
I don't know. I'm a Santos fan, so that doesn't help. I'm a little biased. But I'm also a huge pizza fan, and even more so, a make-your-own pizza fan. So if you're going to this pizza restaurant or this pizza dinner, a make-your-own pizza station, and you can't even make your own pizza, I thought it was awesome. He had the kids helping. Maybe could have done it a little bit faster. That's part of the experience. That's part of the fun of it.
Right.
I think this was edited a little
to kind of look that way.
To make it look worse.
Right.
But I think it was awesome of him. Huge props for getting the kids involved.
Right.
Yeah, that was the only moment they went back to the pizza station. So I feel like they were like, what can we show? Oh, he's taking a little long, maybe?
To make a little 5-year-old girl smile.
Right.
Yes. A little balance.
What's wrong with that?
No, I mean, I don't think anything's wrong with it. I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day, it's Hell's Kitchen. Right. So if you're going to be holding up stuff, I mean, everything has a time constraint. And so they're also depending on him to keep up with the flow that's going on in the kitchen. That's all I'm saying. I think I love children, and I love pizza, and I'm making pizza with children. So
especially if we're from the East Coast, right?
Right, exactly. That's actually what I do in the East Coast, is I go to children's homes and I make pizza with them. Seriously.
Are their parents home?
Yeah.
No. Oh my gosh, that didn't sound right. Not children's homes. Oh my gosh, this is not all right. Children's home, like foster homes.
Like
That's
orphanages?
Yes, oh my gosh.
Hey, little kids. Today we're having a margarita pizza.
Oh my
gosh. Plus the margaritas, minus the pizza.
Oh, no, not at all. This is going left really fast.
Lem is 200%.
Right, I'm at 200. Okay, going back to making pizza at Hell's Kitchen. He was throwing it up, but it was fine. It worked out. And then Kaylin messes up again, right?
When in doubt, go back to Kaylin and just talk about her.
Exactly, because she's messing up really, really bad. And the funny thing is, it's so funny because she really is oblivious. Like, and you saw, like, as we get into the elimination portion, she really thinks that she did well.
And it's not her first time that she brought up bad dishes. Right.
She's been consistently bad. Like, it's not like, I mess up here and there. And it's funny, too, because she even made reference, like, and I'm kind of jumping the gun, but, when she was up at the deliberation portion, she's like, I was only bad 2 of the 5 services. Okay, that's 40%. That's not something you want to say. Like, I was only bad 2 of the 3. Like, that's bad. Like, that's bad. You should be bad in 0 of the services.
She goes, I don't know why everyone else is freaking out. In my brain, things are going pretty well.
Right. Right.
What else is going on in your brain, Kaylin?
Something is up in your brain. Yeah, really bad. But, whatever. Latasha, she doesn't know what lackadaisical is. I thought that was cute.
It's adorable.
I thought that was cute. She's like,
good.
I'm going to look it up. She's another favorite of mine. I think she's a sleeper. I think she's a dark horse because I think she doesn't, again, she's kind of, even keel. She's not spectacular, but she's not messing up. And I think, I think that once it starts whittling down, I think she's going to be rising to the top. I mean, that's kind of and I'm jumping the gun again, but that's kind of like what I predict for her because I think she just has it. She's very level-headed, and she's very likable. You know what I'm saying? She's very likable.
And in this kind of arena, I think that's a good strategy is to kind of stay low-key, do what you need to do to make it right until you get to the later stages of the show.
Right.
And then, bam, throw it down.
Exactly. Exactly. No, exactly. You definitely, with this particular type of competition, you don't want to peak too early. Because then if you peak early and you're doing well and then you have a bad service, then that's the time you're going to go home. Because they're going to peak like, oh, well, you were bad. Well, what about the 14 other times? But because it's so few people and everybody's good, then it's nitpicky. So, yeah, you definitely want to kind of have a graduation in that regard. But the blue team seems to be doing well overall in this particular service. Kaylin, she thinks she's doing well. She's messing up all over the place. They go for deliberation because the red team loses. He calls them the loser because they were just really bad. Blue team is the winner. So, of course, anytime a team loses, that team has to go and find 2 people that they're going to put up for elimination. Of course, it's always, no one, it's hard to agree because no one wants to go up. No one wants to admit themselves. I thought Ro was good. She's like, I know who I'm voting because everybody was kind of like, well, I don't know, and da-da-da-da. And I think
it boggles my mind because how can not every single person be jumping to nominate Kaylin?
Exactly.
How are they so on the fence?
I mean, and I think, too, overall, I think that a lot of that is because no one, obviously Kaylin is bad, but, and we know because we know TV, there's a lot of editing that happens. True. So there's editing that happens for that. I think that even though Kaylin did some bad things in service, I don't think nothing is like a standout yet. Do you see what I'm saying? And I think that's why they were having a problem. It's not like they love each other, but I think it was just legitimately like, well, let's see who's the worst. So I don't know. Like, you were kind of not too good. You were kind of, what I mean? Like, no one was stellar, but no one was horrible. But I think of everyone, Kaylin was what we saw was the worst.
And Chef Ramsay specifically said, of all of the services, who is the weakest link?
Right.
And it was hard for them to kind of wrap their heads around that.
Exactly. Again, they were having, and you saw Katie up there. She's like, I don't know, me? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think she just did that because honestly, she couldn't figure out, anybody that was really, really bad.
And I did read in one interview, Ashley had said that it's really awkward to nominate someone who then comes back the next week. So the fact that they have to nominate 2 people and then one comes back, it's got to be super awkward to be like, oh, hey, just put you up, but we're still good, right?
Yeah, we want to hang.
Sit by the jacuzzi.
We're on our station together.
Ooh. Exactly. So, yeah.
And I know Chef Ramsay gave Katie a very hard time for not being able to pick someone. He even says, no head chef would ever nominate themselves. But I kind of think, I think it was kind of respectable.
I think it was respectable in the fact that she knew that she didn't do well. So she's calling herself out. And I don't think that's bad. I understand what he's saying. Basically, a head chef should never be at the bottom because they're a head chef. They should be doing well. But I think it's something, it takes integrity to be like, okay, I didn't do well. So if you're going to pick somebody, pick me because I didn't do well. I did not do stellar.
I'm on the other side of that because I feel like she picked herself just because she froze up. Not necessarily because she felt like she was the weakest. She was like, oh, and that shows me she can't handle pressure situations.
I don't think she wanted to put anybody else up. I think she thought, I'm already up here. I don't want to throw someone else under the bus. I'm going to, hope that this doesn't bite me in the butt. But
if you're running a team in a kitchen or any other high pressure situation, if there's a weak link, you need to know who the levels are.
Right.
So I would feel if I were in there, I would always have kind of a running tab of where my weak links are, if you're managing any kind of team.
But they're not going to do that.
No.
Let's see. If she puts up Jennifer's going to cut her hair in her sleep.
Right.
If she puts up, Ro, Ro's going to probably do something. Katie's a small girl.
Right.
She's the smallest one on there. I think she was scared.
No, you got to cut people back.
It's survival of the fittest. At the end of the day, this is a competition, and you have to be able to. You have to look at it that yes, they're all working that profession. That's just why they're on the show. But you have to be able to stand out. You have to be able to stand out. You have to assert yourself. And I think the people that aren't able to do that, they probably could be a better cook or chef than maybe the other person, but because they don't assert themselves and because they don't take charge, then they end up falling through the cracks, and then they buckle under the pressure, and then they start doing poorly because they lack the self-confidence. So, and hence is why it's called Hell's Kitchen.
Yes.
It's not Purgatory Kitchen or Heaven Kitchen. It's Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
So
it might have bought her some points later for later eliminations to say like, hey, I didn't call you out.
Right.
I'm sorry.
But that's not even. But it's not that type of show.
No.
It's all about your performance. If you're performing well, you're not going to get called. That's the end of the story. But if you perform bad, you're going to get called up. That's it. And I think these women. Again, we'll see how it goes going further because of Jennifer kind of being the evil one or the villain. But no one's really a villain right now. They're all just trying to, do what they got to do as far as making it in the kitchen.
Who would you guys have picked other than Katie if she didn't call herself?
To go up? I don't know that I would have picked anyone else.
Oh, you would have gone with Katie?
Oh, I definitely would have gone with both of them. I thought those were the picks handed down.
Yeah, I'm on the fence about Katie. I think Ro. I had some bad feelings about Ro this week for some reason. Yeah.
Why are you hating on Ro? She was just on the show last week.
I'm not hating on Ro.
She's an amazing person.
I think she put herself forward in the very first challenge, and I think she held Katie back. She was the one that was very certain that she was going to do really, really well in the first challenge. That's why she offered to go twice, and then she didn't. She messed up for the girls. So I think she has to pay a little bit for that.
She has to pay the piper.
But Caitlin's obviously the one that...
Right, right. Well, and that's the thing. It's like, at this point, everybody's, like I said, kind of even. So, but for this particular one, and I know that they picked from service. They didn't pick from all of them. They did pick from service. And that's what I would have done. I would have done the same thing. I would have picked, like I said, Katie and Caitlin because they were bad in the service.
How I can't compete in something like this because I definitely have a notepad. Like, you messed up. See you
back
here.
in September.
Yeah.
Remember when you didn't fry the egg right? Like you would bring that kind of stuff up. I see. It's cool, Marielou. but that's why
you guys are cut.
You guys are we're cut. Word. So as we already said, Katie and Kaylin are the ones that are nominated. And I thought it was interesting that Chef Ramsay actually had something to say about that. And he said that, you know, I want you guys to be choosing from the entire time you've been here, not just the service. But it's like, what do you expect them to do? Like, I see what he's saying, because you have to look at the overall picture. And I do think that a lot of times when these teams deliberate, they go by what just happened, because it's fresh in their mind.
Exactly.
And then it's up to the person, right? It's up to the person to be like, well, wait a second, I've been good all these other services. You know, I just had a bad service. Like, don't kill me. You know what I'm saying? So, but, you know, I think that's just kind of what happened. So I think he did it as a reminder. But, and I thought, because he is good for this, he'll pull somebody else that he wants to see down there. He did not do that, which kind of said that he kind of agreed with them, even though at the end of the day he said what he said. So he does pick them, and then and I really thought Katie was going to go home.
Me too.
Just for that, what she said about putting herself, and he made the comment about a head chef would never do that. But I think when everyone in the team unanimously,
everybody said.
Everybody said, Kaylin, is this coffee? What's going on? It's water.
You're hungry. You're so
I'm so hungry. I'm dying. I'm hungry. Okay, so Kaylin was unanimously chosen by every person on her team to basically go home. And I think that's what swung him, because when everyone said the same thing, boom, done deal. So, you know, that's what happens. And I think too, you know, people just did not like her also. You know, she wasn't a likable person. She wasn't anybody, like, she wasn't friends with anybody. She kind of always, you know, went in on people and they tried to help her or whatever. You know, so.
She was so oblivious to everything.
And she was oblivious.
She was so oblivious to everything. She thought she nailed it. She thought she killed it. She thinks she's the best chef out there, and she's messing up right and left.
Right.
She thinks she only messed up, like,
2 or 5 times.
I cannot wait for her to watch this.
Right.
Like,
and see herself.
And
I think a lot of times too, you when you're in a situation, who knows where she works currently, but you know, she's working somewhere. She may be the best. You know.
Is she though? After this, is she still working?
Well, I'm just saying, like, if she,
I'm not going to her restaurant.
Wherever she was working when she did the show, she might have been the best there. She might have been really good and got a lot of accolades and whatnot. She comes here, she probably is on the same, you know, doing the same things, thinking it's at the same level. What's the difference? Hell's Kitchen. You're not at the level that you're supposed to be, which is why she went home. But in her mind, she's like, I'm killing it. I'm doing good. I only made 80 mistakes, you know, but I got 90, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but that's 20%.
Right. You know what I'm saying? I got 80% wrong, but I was holding on that 20%. So, I mean, that's kind of how she's judging it. So, but
we passed over one of my favorite parts of the episode, actually, was earlier when she's cooking pasta. Today goes, how much time do you need left? She goes, 1 minute. So we're cooking. Today's like, all right, dropping the scallops. She goes, no, I need more time. She's like, today's like, you just told me you need 1 minute.
Right.
She goes, yeah, but now I need another minute and a half. It's like, everything about Kaylin.
That will sink the ship in the kitchen, because it's all time.
It's all time.
And I feel like the editors had some fun. Every time they went back to Kaylin, she was testing the pasta. So kind of took it, she was just eating it. And not actually cooking it. Like,
right.
So
he was like, bring me the pasta. Yeah. Yeah. She had time management issues. Big time. But she's gone. She ended up going home. Chef Ramsay sent her home. And so it goes. I mean, Katie gets to fight. I don't think she's going to last. I honestly think, you know, she's going to, you know, probably be the next one, because I don't think she's mentally strong enough to be there. Based on what she said, I don't think she's a bad chef. I don't think anybody on the red team right now is horrible. I think there's more weak people on the blue team than it is the red team. But I think that for her, I think she's just not strong enough. So she's just not going to last just for that will alone, you know, unless she has some kind of epiphany and be like, oh, you know, I really need to step it up. But I can't, you know, I can't see that happening.
Yeah.
At first I was thinking maybe this would light a fire under her. But then with previews for next week, I kind of scratched that out of my notes.
Scratched it
we'll get
out.
Into that later.
She got scratched. Well, speaking of scratching, let's get into predictions. Let's do that.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Okay, so I know, scary. It's October, Halloween time. All right, so Jeff, we've kind of been talking about predictions all throughout the episode, but just for you, who do you think is going to be the next person that's going to kind of rise to the top on either team?
My boy Santos. I'm still a Santos fan. I think he has. They're alluding to a few issues in next week's episode, but I think he's good, man. I think he's good. Still a big Fernando fan. On the girl side, I think Ashley's gonna kind of come out of nowhere. We're kind of talking. She looks like a little bit of a hot mess right now. I don't really. She's kind of all over the place, but I think Ashley's gonna creep up on us next week.
Okay.
In a good way.
Marielou, what about you?
I would really like to see Frank shine if they can get the mirrors out of the way, because he did kind of show us a little bit. No, I need his skills.
The skill to shine. Okay.
Yeah, so I'd love to see Frank pull it out. Yes, and it would be great. And as far as the girls' team, Latasha, like I agree with you that I feel like she's kind of just hanging back, and she's going to just pop out something really good.
Interesting. Well, I think for me, my prediction, definitely Latasha on the red team. On the blue team, I just keep going back to Sterling. I think, again, I know he's not going to win, but I think that he's going to get better. I will say that. I think he's going to get better. And I think that he's going to, it's basically, he's going to assert himself to do the best that he can, which is why I think he'll get far. And I think a lot of it will be based on his charisma, not just his cooking ability. Because like I told you that one time, it showed him hugging, Chef Ramsay because he didn't go home. I can't wait for that. I think that's going to be classic. So, those are my predictions. But, we will see. So that is our show, ladies and gentlemen. We want to thank you for tuning in. Make sure you go to iTunes, because iTunes, you can download it for free, our podcast. You can also rate it. We love 5 stars because that's how much you can get. That's the most, and we like the most. So rate the 5 stars, give it to us. And you can find me on social media, on Twitter and Instagram at The Poet Saint, and that's all day, every day. Marielou, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Marielou Mandl, Marielou Mandl, and I would love for one of our viewers or listeners to send us a recipe for scallops.
Yes.
Because I want to know how you're supposed to make these.
Me too.
Because nobody knows how to make them.
Right. Jeff, where are you at?
You can find me at Instagram at Jeff Thurm, and on Twitter, Thurm TV.
Nice. All right. Thanks again. And we will be back next week. And hopefully I won't be as hungry. I'm going to eat beforehand.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principal.